So when you're looking at selling your products, you have a lot of options of where you can sell your products. So we're going to go over Shopify today. Shopify will work as a website. So if you are going to be selling products and you're not really going to be doing anything like blogging, then Shopify can work as both your site that you can sell your products and the website that you need in order to do things like affiliate sales and things like that. With Shopify, you can also use it as your company name. So your company name is essentially going to be so you can have your Shopify store look like a website with your company name instead of Shopify dot blah, blah, blah. It really does kind of give it a more professional look. There are themes that you can use in Shopify in order to make it look more like a website. So it's kind of like Amazon. You know, you go on and all the products are there. People can have shops in there. Shopify is very similar to that. So I'm going to show you how you set up Shopify, and then we're going to look at how you can add your products and how you can attach it to your Facebook, how you can attach it to Amazon, how you can put your printful items in your Shopify store, and also how you can actually sell your products from Shopify on Instagram and Facebook as well. So to get started, you just want to go to shopify.com. Okay, and you want to click on Get Started. Okay, you're just going to need to put in your email address, your password, and what you want your store name to be. Okay. Then you just click Create Store. Okay, you're going to need to kind of tell them what you do. Are you selling products? Are you not just online? Are you selling with a different system currently? So if you were selling with Etsy right now, you would select this. So see, they have all the different places that you can actually sell from that are common platforms right now. So see here you have eBay, Etsy, Amazon, Square, Wix, of course, website, and then Big Daddy. You can also do other, but we'll decide Etsy. Okay. Let's say we want to move our existing business to Shopify. You could also say new, and you want to select what your current revenue is. And if you're designing a store for a client, you would click that, which we're not going to be. You want to enter in all your information. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this blank. Okay, so this is what the Shopify looks like before you add anything in. They do have a trial. So let's look and see what kind of plans they have so you can anticipate. All right. So it's $29 a month for the basic. That gets you 2.9% plus 30 cents for credit card processing. Okay, this is good for retail. These are all good for retail. But what you can do is if you chose this plan, if you pay it yearly, then what happens is that you get it essentially for about $25 a month. Okay, so you would just need to put all your information in here. If you're not sure if you want to continue doing this, I would suggest that you just pay it monthly. Okay, so how Shopify works is you add in your products right here. This is your dashboard here. Okay, so you can have discounts, you can add in apps, and we're going to go through some of this because there are some apps that you can use to do things like move your Etsy that you currently have and put it into Shopify. So you would click on products here, add product, and this part is very similar to Etsy in that you have a title, here's your description, here's where you add in images, this is your price. Okay, this if you wanted to keep up with inventory, so if you knew you had 20 of an item, you would put that in here. This is your physical product. So let's talk about the shipping. Okay, so there's two things that you could sell on Shopify. One, you can sell a digital product, which of course would be like a PDF, a video, you know, if you were going to sell a course, if you were going to sell a video on how to do something, then that's what you would put in. You would take out the physical product here, and then you would be able to actually upload a PDF where you could direct people to the video or whatever it is that you're offering. If you select a physical product, then you're going to need to do shipping, okay? And here's the important part. With Shopify, they're really only going to give you a weight. Well, there are a lot of factors that determine your shipping more than just weight. So you want to compensate for what you are going to be shipping out in this weight. One thing you can do is you can actually just go ahead and add in the shipping to the cost of your products, and then you don't really have to worry about this part of selling on Shopify. So if you use, you can use PayPal to come up with shipping. You can use Etsy to come up with your shipping. So if you already have items on Etsy, you could make a listing, keep it as draft, and just look to see what the shipping would be, putting all of your information in. You can use that to pull it over to do Shopify. Okay. So if you were receiving inventory from large manufacturers, you can use this add transfer in here. And you can search through the suppliers and through the products. Okay, this is where you can manage your inventory. So this collections is very much like categories that are in Etsy. It's a really great thing to have, especially if you're going to have different things in your shop. So you always want to use something like this to organize it, so it makes it much easier for your customers to come in and find something. You don't want them to look through 500 listings looking for ribbon when you have a bunch of wreaths up there before you even get to the ribbon. So you just be specific about what your collections are. So if we had ribbon, you could put, wired ribbon or crafts and wreath making. Okay. If you have different types of things in your shop, you want to make sure that you select manual collection type, because you don't want it to put every single thing you have into that collection, which is really a category. Okay, and you can hit save. And you can just set up as many of these as you need or you want to. Okay, you can also accept gift cards on here, which is something that is really helpful, because when somebody buys a gift card from Etsy, it is a little different than most gift cards work. They actually have to buy it from Etsy. They can't buy it from you. But here you can have where you can offer gift cards to your customers. Now, you do have to have a specific type of plan, but it is something that you want to keep in mind for later. Once you start building your customer base, your customers are going to be in here. Now, if you already have customers on another shop, such as Etsy, eBay, Amazon, you can download those and import them here. So if you're going to be moving from Etsy into Shopify, you can actually move all of your, you can move your reviews, you can move your customers, you can remove your products without having to manually get all that in there. You just download them and then import them in. It does have analytics. So, of course, analytics are always very important when you have a shop. You want to know where your customers are coming from. You want to know how they're finding you. You want to know things such as your average order value, how your orders are doing over time. See, here is where they're coming from. This is your top products. So you can use all of these to help direct your business to where it should be. So you do have analytics on Etsy, but they're not as powerful as the analytics that you get on Shopify. Another thing that you get on Shopify, so when people are purchasing things from your Shopify and another customer is on your site, it's going to pop up and say, so-and-so just bought whatever, which can also incentivize people who are shopping. It is just one of those little, things that Shopify does that really makes it a much better experience. It can help with that trust factor. So, people are not going to buy from you unless they know, like, and trust you. Well, guess what? If they're shopping on your site and they're seeing other people are buying stuff, guess what? It's going to help them to trust you more. So these are things that you have to think about when you are doing a shop. There are some other things that you can take advantage of with Shopify that you cannot do with other selling platforms. you can have drop shipping. So what drop shipping means? Drop shipping means that you are able to put products on your site that you don't make, that you're getting from another company, and you're getting essentially a profit on that product. So an example of that would be Printful. Okay, so Printful is essentially drop shipping. It's a little bit different than your traditional drop shipping because it's a third party that makes t-shirts that you design, and then you essentially are paying them for the product. You charge your customer money on top of that, so you get profit and they ship it from there. So that's the same basic concept with drop shipping. So in business, a lot of companies will buy things on consignment, which means that they get to have the things in their shop and they don't have to pay for them until they sell them. Well, this is similar to that, except that you don't have to physically store it. You are selling products for this company and you're getting a little bit of profit for selling it for them. So in Shopify, the more sales you have, the higher your shop is going to rank and the more it's going to be seen. So it is very similar. It's very similar to Etsy. It's similar to Amazon. So the more things you sell, the more your shop is going to be seen. So one of the things that's really important is that you do get your shop up on top, because the higher it ranks, the more you're going to be seen. So there are great reports in here. And then in the marketing, you can promote your products on Google and Facebook. So when you promote your products on Etsy, essentially what it does is it ranks it up at the top of the page on Etsy when people are looking for that. If you promote on Shopify, guess what? You're getting that traffic of people who are coming into Google and Facebook who are searching for that. So Etsy, yes, great, wonderful marketplace. Google and Facebook, even bigger marketplace. So you have to keep in mind how many people are going to be on Google and Facebook versus how many people are going to be on Etsy. Now, you do want to be careful about not spending a lot of money to advertise your products, because then, of course, you are cutting down on the amount of revenue that you can make on that product. But it can help in the beginning to try to get yourself found. But as I always tell you, doing lives and directing people to your shop is really going to make a big difference. So you can offer discounts to your customers. One thing that I like to do is I like to have a customer code for repeat customers, because it helps encourage them to come back and buy again. So it's a good idea to set up a discount code and to send it to them once they have purchased from you. So you can do that with these automatic codes. All right, so what that does is when they check out, they're going to get sent this code saying, let's say that you say, thank you 10. You give them 10% off, and then they're like, ooh, 10%. So then next time they're going to go buy something, they might come back and buy from you because they have that 10%. So when you're doing that, you need to keep in mind that if you're going to be offering discounts, you want to keep that in mind when you're pricing your products. So always be careful how you price your products. Okay, so the apps. One of the really great things about Shopify is you can add in a lot of apps to help you with your store. There's very limited things that you can do with Etsy. Really, the only thing that you can add in is to add in Square so that you can sell in person. With Shopify, you don't need another app. They do have a way to check out in person. Okay, so with Shopify, you can get little readers like this that you just plug in You just plug it into your phone, or you would plug it into your iPad. There are also some you can use if you have like a laptop in person, and you can use these to swipe people's credit cards. So they just have a little swiping feature here. So you always want to do that if possible. And the reason is because if you swipe a card, then you're going to be charged, let's say, like 2.7%. If you are having to manually type in the number, you're going to pay more like 2.9 or 3%. So if you manually type in the number, it's always going to charge you more. It prefers it if you swipe the card. So you definitely would want to have some kind of reader. And you can usually get these readers for free when you first sign up for your shop. And this is great. So let's talk about why that's great. So when you are, let's say, doing a craft fair or doing a market, farmer's market, a festival, anything like that, you can load all of your products onto your Shopify. And then when you're in person, you can just take your reader out and you can plug it in, and you get credit for that on your Shopify. So that's another sale, and Shopify is going to say, oh, they're getting sales, they're getting sales, they're getting sales. That really helps you. You want to do this whether you are using Etsy, Shopify, your website, whatever you're using, PayPal. You always want to make sure that you are using it in person and getting that credit for that sale, because this really helps things when you're ranking for your shops. Okay, in the next video, we're going to be going over how you can set themes on your shop, how you can move your products from Etsy over to Shopify, and we'll start looking at some more of the more interesting basic things that are on Shopify.